Oh, this thing called love. I just can't handle it, this thing called love. I must get around of it, ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. Well, this thing called love, it cries in a cradle all night, it swings, it jives, it shakes all over.
Hey DCC, welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee. We're here at Building 3, and I'm drinking some freaking coffee. I'm going to get some foam in my beard, so just a second. Oh yeah, that's awesome. That is really, really good. So we're continuing to shoot from Building 3 Coffee here, but I want to talk about this this song. And so one of my favorite songs in all the world is called Defender, and I want to read a couple of the lyrics and just go through it. So it says, "You go before I know that you're even gone to win my war. Your love becomes my greatest defense. It leads me from the dry wilderness." And if I'm going to be honest with you this morning, this whole talk about Defender has been inspired by this group that meets in our town called Worship Mob. And if you aren't familiar with Worship Mob, then I encourage you to get to know our good friend Sean Mulholland and all those guys and whatnot. But if you'll go to YouTube and you'll go to the search and you just search Worship Mob, all one word, put it together, and you're going to find their channel. Trust me, listen to that often. I go to sleep to it. I wake up to it. I play it in my office. My coworkers think I'm crazy, and I sing to it. But let me tell you, Worship Mob sings this song Defender, and it really inspires me every week. And so go check them out on YouTube. But let's read those lyrics again. "You go before I know that you're even gone to win my war. Your love becomes my greatest defense. It leads me from the dry wilderness." And so many of you today, right? You're going to find yourself this week, this month, and you've been fighting for your family. You've been fighting for friends. Your friends are going through a ringer. You're fighting for your career. You've got something going on at work. It's stressing you out. You have a boss that's driving you crazy, or a coworker. And others, you're feeling empty this week, or you're feeling empty today. And so you've fought so much on behalf of your family. You've fought so much on behalf of others. And you've been involved in small groups. And you're leading. And you're doing all this stuff. And then you hit this point, right? And you say, what about me? I'm empty. I'm running on fumes. God, what about me? And so this is one of those places that I can feel myself creeping into every once in a while, right? And I'm feeling like I'm giving, I'm fighting, and I've picked up the sword, and I got my shield, and I'm fighting the battle. And then I just feel exhausted, and I feel depleted, and I feel like I'm running on fumes. And the enemy comes into that moment and speaks into that moment. And I have to cry out to God, hey, what about me? What about me? And so I want to tell you this. God wants you to lean back. And he wants you to know that he's in front of you, that he's all around you, and that he's winning the victory, that he's fighting in front of you, he's fighting around you, he's winning, and he's fighting for you, because he's a good king, right? And that's part of that song that you'll hear. It says, "When I thought I lost me, you knew where I left me, and you reintroduced me to your love. You picked up all my pieces, you put me back together, because you are the defender of my heart." And so that's how God works. I don't know if you guys remember a story in the Old Testament about Gideon, but Gideon is this guy, and he's like probably one of the most unlikely people to ever do like massive great things, but God takes him and he's going to lead an army. But Gideon it was hard enough to get him to do it, but then when he's ready to go fight the battle, God says, "No, you got too many people." And so he keeps whittling down Gideon's numbers. And he keeps whittling them down and cutting them down. And so basically they're going to go into battle with a number where they already know they're outnumbered by the enemy. And then to add matters to that, he says, hey, in one hand you're going to carry an instrument, in the other hand you're going to carry this lantern. And so they're going to go up against an enemy, and they're not even going to have a hand on a weapon. And they're going to be all lit up, and they're going to be making tons of noise. Like all the things that you probably don't want to do when you're entering into battle and trying to do some type of surprise attack, right? But this is how God fights our battles. This is how he fights our battles. He had already gone ahead of them. He had already won that victory. He had already slain the enemy, already had a plan in store for them. And so sometimes I think in life, when we're in that moment where we're just like so depleted and so running on fumes, it feels like we're surrounded. We're surrounded on all sides. But God wants you to know, he wants me to know that, he's surrounding us. He's the one that is all around us. So today, I want you to please take some time. You might be in your bedroom, in your car, on your way to work, and at your office, and wherever you find yourself right now. And I want you to remind yourself that God is always fighting your battles, and you have to rest in him, trust in him, because he's got all of us. Okay? Have a good day.
I got a